Alright, so this is a Fiskars Machete, kind of a new design I hadn't seen around before. I believe it was part of the whole Gerber Bear Grylls thing, but then was not labeled as such at the store. And it is, let's see, our blade length is 16 inches average as far as the sharpened part goes, right around 16 inches. Not really pointy. And they've gone through some issue on this, I guess because of the law in some places. Supposedly make this thing balance better, but I don't know. But it's got these holes drilled here, so that if you were to try and sharpen a stabby type point on this, you'd be running into these holes and mess up the front of your blade. Kind of interesting like that. Now we're using this on a job site for something a guy showed me for cutting insulation very efficiently. The other thing about this machete is kind of interesting is, so they went for this whole totally like non-pointy thing going on here. There's a little bit of a point, but it definitely could never really be used as a stabbing weapon because the angle of approach on this. But you got a relatively good slashing blade, and then they give you a reverse blade. You see how this is now it's beveled like this, but it's not sharpened on the top edge. And the way the handle goes, you could grip that either way. So you've got a sickle type blade in addition to the machete, the traditional machete angle. And so with a sickle type blade, you can do other types of brush cutting and stuff with it. But the sickle edge does not come sharpened. That's not sharpened. It's beveled, so you could sharpen it, but that's not the way it comes. You can get a long handle, get a lanyard laying, no sheath. You'd have to make that. And this is kind of how this handle would work, like this, or you hold it like this. So it kind of goes either way. They go for about 20, 25 bucks, depending on where you buy them. Let's show something on this in action. You'll notice the insulation here, and how it is making this insulation job relatively quick and easy. So we're going to show something. I'm adding insulation to a wall that normally doesn't have that. We cut out the old drywall. We're going to put the insulation in. If you've got fire blocker, it kind of holds in by tension anyway. But here's a really cool way to cut this. I'm just going to measure the piece here real quick. So I need about 44-inch piece. I go over here, and roughly 44-ish is right here. And then I'm going to use this Fiskars Machete. This is pretty slick. I just kind of set it on here, give a quick little cut to groove it. Now this has not been sharpened beyond factory sharp, but boom, we got a nice even cut, and then you can stuff this up in here. Now the drywall is going to hold it in place, so we've got relatively short pieces, not absolutely necessary to staple them in. It might be code in some areas. But these machetes, at least when you get a new one that's relatively sharp, really good for cutting insulation to length. Just takes nothing. I previously used to do this with a big pair of scissors, kind of get some uneven cuts and stuff. With this, you give it a slight cut to score it, and then just hold it and cut it, and pretty good to go. Alright, so the other thing is we'll run into some of these narrow areas, and normally it's kind of a hassle. There's a few different ways to do a narrow piece. Right now what I'm going to do is I just figure out I'm at 10 inches by 46. So I'm going to cut the 46 first, so I have a smaller piece to work with. Really simple on this. We just I kind of score it so that I have a good cut line, and then kind of pick that up, stretch it a little bit, brace both ends, and then boom. Just like cutting tape with an X-Acto knife or something like that. Now for our 10-inch cut, I just kind of measure over right here, just hold my finger on that, get a line, eyeball it. This is insulation, so it's not a high precision thing. We score it, and I've been scoring this on the fuzzy side, not the paper side. Once once I have a split, just kind of hold this piece up, kind of work the initial part, get some fingers on both sides that have to brace it, and just come right down the existing cut. And what it's going to do is gravitate toward that. So using the machete, you've got a lot of blade to work with. And as long as you're slashing with it, this is a slashing thing, you're only slashing with it. That would take me about 10 minutes with the scissors that I was normally using for this. Really fast Fiskars Machete. It comes with this edge sharpened and this edge dull but could be sharpened. So the way the handle is a complex handle, you can hold it like this for certain types of weed whacking type stuff. I'm not sure if that would be any better for what I'm doing, but it seems to work pretty well as it is.